Good day, everybody. Welcome back to the Dirty Pat Walsh channel on YouTube with me, your host, Dirty Pat Walsh, coming from the backyard of Sound Kitchen Studios, where you can see the lovely old age seniors apartment complex and some crappy lawn furniture. So, question and answers. I got a lot of questions. This is going to be a long video, but I'm going to try to answer all these questions. And I always have that, if you want to leave me a question, and I'll answer it to the best of my ability at any given time, you know. But here's the answer, or here's the questions I got when I put a call out yesterday. I'll tell you who submitted at the end of the video. Okay, arm wrestling. Doyle or Jerry only. Doyle von Frankenstein or Doyle Wolfgang von Frankenstein or Jerry only. Two musicians who used to play for this cheesy horror punk rock band called the Misfits. I like their very first recordings, but I don't really like them other than that. They're both kind of cartoon characters more than anything else. So really, and the secondary part of the question was, regardless of who won, would Henry Rollins actually still win? Now, I've met Henry Rollins, and I've felt his handshake. So, I think Doyle and Jerry only would throw a lot of wolf tickets at each other, saying who could win, but they wouldn't actually wrestle, and Henry Rollins would still definitely win that match. What's my opinion of Jeff Healey? Jeff Healey's a Canadian blues guitar player. He died not so long ago. He was blind. He played lap style, but not lap slide style like I played. He played like he chorded. He played like he'd lie the guitar on his lap and play chords with his right hand. It was a very interesting style of guitar playing. I have a lot of respect for him. The second path of his career, he went on to from playing blues guitar to playing jazz trumpet, and I didn't like that at all. The best thing I can say about Jeff Healey is he was good at what he did, and he overcame insurmountable odds to do what he did, so I have respect for him. I played his bar in Toronto. He owned, or it's probably still there, but he owned a blues bar in Toronto, and it was fantastic. One of the best venues I ever played in Toronto. So I got respect for Jeff Healey. I don't listen to his music though. What's my favorite guitar? Now, out of the guitars I own, and I only own a couple guitars right now. My Gretsch Jim Dandy is my favorite. If I could have any acoustic guitar I wanted, I would want a small wood-bodied resophonic guitar, one with a big hubcap on it, with a biscuit style resonator, not a spider style resonator. Electric guitars, SGs all the way. Telecasters are cool, but I've never owned one. But whenever I've owned an electric guitar, I've owned 5 SGs in my life. I've had to sell them all or broke one. Yeah, most of the cool guitars I've ever owned, I've had to sell for rent money. I'm dipping Copenhagen Extra Long Cut. I really like it a lot more than I initially did. Did I ever rock out to the Nuge, or Ted Nugent? Yes, I did. I used to own a few Ted Nugent cassettes. Ted Nugent and the Amboy Dukes. They were a pretty good band. Ted Nugent solo. I can't remember the name. I have a couple of his albums, but I can't remember the names of them. They're well-known albums, with Cat Scratch Fever and all that jazz on it. But so yeah, for a short time in my life, sure I did, but honestly, I think he's an abomination of a man. So I got no respect for him, but yeah, I did listen to his music for a period, a very short period of my life. My least favorite dip that isn't sago. Out of the all the dips I've tried, my least favorite ones that I've tried so far are Derringer Straight and Kayak Peach. My favorite food is, that's a hard one because I used to be a chef and I've made a lot of different kinds of food. Um, Now I have horrible issues with food because of my intestinal disorder, so I have a very pretty strict diet of what I can and cannot eat. I'm mostly a vegetarian. Um, when I'm not a vegetarian, it's kind of when I don't have the option of being a vegetarian. My little daughter's a vegetarian, and I'm very proud of her for that. But when it comes down to my favorite style of cooking, it's good old fashioned Southern soul food. I love Southern soul food. Fried chicken, fucking beans, coleslaw, all that jazz. Cornbread. I have trouble eating a lot of it now, but catfish. Oh yeah, I love catfish. Crawdads, stuff like that. Soul food. Love it. My favorite cologne. Believe it or not, I actually have a favorite cologne. Um, Kitty cat here next to me. Um, Now, I don't wear cologne a lot. Um, if I was able to afford this cologne, I would wear it. I wear it every day probably. But I've been gifted this cologne a number of times, and I really really like it. It's called 4711. It's got quite a history to it. It's a very old cologne, but yeah, this is my favorite of all time. It's like a light citrus kind of smell. Um, so yeah, I really like this stuff. I would wear it every day if I had. I only have a couple shots of it left, and I saved that for when I visit my little daughter. But yeah, 4711, favorite cologne. Probably the only cologne I would really wear. Um, my favorite shoes. I'm not wearing any shoes right now, but the shoes I like footwear a lot. My favorite shoes are that I like casual running shoes I wear are Adidas trainers. Um, um, the kinds of Adidas trainers I have right now are kind of rare. They're total thrift store scores. The probably the best pair I have is a pair of green suede Adidas Universals, and they're great. Um, I also like Chuck Taylor low cuts a lot. They're not very good for my feet though. Um, I own a bunch of pairs of Doc Marten boots. Um, I don't really wear them that much anymore though, because they're real crap in winter. My running shoes are better than my Docs in winter here. uh, I like my favorite all-time pair of shoes though is my white suede Bass bowling shoes. I love those. Those are my stage shoes. I always wear them on stage, and when I'm feeling particularly like it's a white shoe kind of day, you know. Um, yeah, those are my favorite shoes. I also like a nice pair of brogue loafers or uh, tassel loafers. You know, I like shoes. The best decade in terms of fashion, I would say I take my fashion styles from the 1950s up to the 1970s. I'd say, you know, I like old school haircuts. I like you know vintage ties and blazers and old shirts. You know, I don't know. I like to dress how I like to dress. I actually had a you know I've kind of had this look on most of the time for most of my life in Peterborough. Shirt, tie, blazer, jeans, and running shoes, And I'm kind of known for that look here. I had a kid who really he was a big Diplomats fan. He dressed up as me one year for Halloween. He looked just like me. I was very honored. But all in all, I think the 70s was the most interesting for fashion just because of when punk rock happened and the skinhead movement. And back before skinheads were racist fucks, when they were all about fashion and reggae music. I love that. I love that style. 3 favorite punk bands. That's really hard. I could talk all day on punk bands I like, but I'm going to really try to strip it down. Favorite Canadian band, Teenage Head. Favorite American band, The Germs. Favorite English band, The Ruts. My 3 favorite harp players. This is another really difficult one because I can't really nail it down to 3, but 3 off the top of my head right away are Blind Owl Wilson from Canned Heat, Lester Butler from the Red Devils, and the Reverend Dan Smith. Would I ever move to the USA for the sole reason of cheap dip? No, I wouldn't. Maybe I would move to the USA sometime in the future. I don't know. I love the USA. I love traveling in the USA, but I would not move there just for the reason of cheap dip. I'm someone who really needs our healthcare system here in Canada, so I'm very grateful to live in Canada and have covered healthcare, because I'd be in a big wad of trouble if I didn't. So, yeah, not for cheap dip. If I can only have one harp for the rest of my life, what would it be? That's another tough one. I don't know if you mean just one harmonica that I have, or one brand of harmonicas, or whatever. So I'll say if I could have unlimited harmonicas, any brand, but only one brand, I would pick the Marine Band by Hohner. If I could only own one harmonica, and that's it, I'd have to say either my B-flat Golden Melody or my 14-hole extended range Marine Band with a low C octave on it, because I can do a lot with that. If I could only play guitar or harmonica, which one would I choose? Now, I love playing guitar. I love playing slide guitar, but harmonica is the definite winner. Everybody plays guitar. Not so many people play harmonica. And harmonica is my life. So, harmonica is definitely the answer for that. This was kind of a joke question, but how do I look so young? I think it's believe it or not, I get that question quite a fair bit. I am 49 years old now. And when I quit drinking when I was 31, when I look at all my friends who I drank with back then, and I look at them now because they haven't quit drinking, they all look a lot older than me. I quit smoking when I was 24. I quit drinking when I was 31. Every time you quit an addiction, a bunch of your cells die and regenerate. So, those two things. And for the past 15 years, I've struggled with opiate addiction. Sometimes quite bad, sometimes not so bad. Right now, I still use narcotic pain relief, but I'm very responsible about it. But the thing about opiate addiction is it's the same thing. Like when the opiates wear off in your system, a bunch of your cells kind of die and regenerate. And when you're on a low dose of narcotic medication and take it responsibly, when you're used to abusing large doses of opiate medication, I spend a good lot of my day kind of dope sick, if you in the late evening and stuff like that when my pills are wearing off. So I think that helps keep me look young. Years of alcohol and opiate addiction. What's my favorite ice cream? Tiger Tail, the licorice and orange one. That's my all-time favorite ice cream. Back when I was a kid, we could get just plain black licorice ice cream, and that was my favorite ice cream. But right now, it's Tiger Tail or peppermint chip, chocolate chip. My favorite pizza toppings, I would have to say, are onions, tomatoes, tomatoes. I think onion, tomato, and mushroom is a good mix. I tend to go more for vegetarian pizza than pepperoni pizza. I do like pineapple on my pizza. A lot of people hate that. So I kind of like Hawaiian pizza, like the standard Hawaiian pizza. But if I was to order a pizza, which I never do, but if I was to, I'd probably order onions, tomatoes, and mushrooms on it with double cheese. Double cheese. Have I ever broken any bones? Now, is that on me, or have I ever broken anybody else's bones? I've done both. I used to get in fights a lot as a kid, and I've knocked a few teeth out. I've cracked people's ribs. I've completely broken my hand. All in fights, you know. When it comes to I skateboarding, when I was a skateboarder, yeah, I busted up a bunch of bones in both my feet a bunch of times. Yeah, I've broken some bones, and I've broken some other people's bones too, but not for a long time. What's one thing if I could change one thing about my life, what would it be? I would probably wish to be healthier. I have a lot of things wrong with me, and that's why I can't work right now. I'm actually, my doctor has ordered that I do not work. I have, chronic pain in my back from arthritis and stuff. I have muscle seizures in my back all the time. I have horrible intestinal problems. I often feel like my body's packed up with steel wool. And I have terrible anxiety problems. So if I could kind of erase all those and be a normally functioning human being, I think that's probably the thing I would change about my life. I'd also probably go back and change the terms of my divorce a bit as well. But yeah, whatever. I'm pretty happy on the whole. I like my life. It just sucks being sick all the time. My biggest regret, I don't really have any regrets. I did it all. Whatever I did it all. Like Lemmy says, fuck God, fuck the devil. Whatever I did, and I stand behind it. I've done a lot of stupid shit. I guess if I could, I kind of wish I didn't drink myself into the ground so I could still enjoy a nice shot of scotch every now and then, or a nice gin and tonic every now and then, but I also had a lot of fun when I was a raving alcoholic, so whatever. No regrets. I'm Dirty Pat Walsh, and I do the best job being Dirty Pat Walsh of anybody in the whole world. And the last question I have here is, do I like, I kind of paraphrase it, do I like skinny women or big, beautiful women? Now, that's a question I really cannot answer because whatever relationship I've been in, I've always, I've dated all kinds of women and been in relationships with all kinds of women. When I was married to a thin blonde woman. I've had girlfriends who've been short, chubby brunettes. I've been, you know, I don't, I don't, I don't look at people for their looks. I look at people for who they are inside. So, uh, that's just a question I can't answer because I don't, I don't, I look at people who for who they are, not for what they look like. Um, yeah. So there you go. All right. So that's the question and answer. Uh, question and answers. The people who participated in this were Kodiak Dipper, Real Talk Studios, um, Melman Mandela, No Bluff Buff. I think that's it. If I missed you, leave me a comment. But I think that's it. Kodiak Dipper asked me a lot of questions. You can find it all in the comment section, though. It's all there for all eyes to see. Um, so yeah, I hope that did the job of answering some questions. And that's something that I'm always open to. If you ever have any questions about anything that I might be able to answer, ask me. And I'm not the sharpest knife in the block, but I know some things about some things that other people don't know things about. And there you go. All right, people. Thanks for your time. I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful Monday. A great start to the week. And yeah, be well, everybody. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.